Hi everyone, my name is Tina Stoffel with tinasfinearts.com. Today we're going to be painting a sunflower painting that was chosen by you, the readers on my Facebook page. I'll be working along in oils, but you are welcome to join me in acrylics if you know how to follow along. I hope you find this lesson valuable and helpful. Okay, so here are the colors I've laid out on my palette today. I have, as you can see here, titanium white. I actually just got way too much out for another reason, so we'll probably use it in smaller amounts. I'm not sure yet though. Keep it handy. Cad yellow, cad orange medium, raw sienna. If you don't have this, you can get it by mixing, you can get pretty close to it by mixing a little bit of blue with a little bit of your orange. I have ultramarine blue, excuse me, and I'm not 100% sure if I'll use it, but sap green, and I have some, so I think it's permanent violet or dioxazine, here it is. Yeah, dioxazine purple will be fine. And also I'm using liquid gel today, so it just runs off my palette, just palette paper. I can throw it right away. It's nice and simple. And a little bit of odorless mineral spirits. We're going to use that to get started. If you don't have it, it's okay. You can still use your medium to get going. It just is a little bit more work. That's all. All right, so here we are, we're getting started with the daisy. What I've done is I have dipped my brush in a little bit of the odorless mineral spirits. You can use turpentine if you like. If you're painting with acrylics, you're going to want to use water in the beginning, or mostly water with your medium. You've got something funky in there. All right, and so I'm just going to fill this in right now. I don't have to get down to the detail quite yet. I'm just getting our basic shape in. I just opened this panel, but it might be the brush I have here. I'm seeing a lot more little pieces of bristle in here than I want, and it can't be dust already. So, if you noticed, I was able to get those out. All right, right there. Simple way to do it. Just pick them and wipe them. So just pick them up with the tip of your brush, right here. Wipe them. All right, and the reason I'm kind of trying to work quick right here is I'm trying to avoid a harsh line from forming, even though I'm going to be painting over this later. Let's see. I don't want my edge too harsh, so. Green is about here and here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. Hopefully you can see it. La la, hello. Okay, so we're going to mix up some green, and I am going to. The reason I put out sap green because they say you can be faster if you lay out your colors ahead of time, but. You know, sometimes the colors come to me as I'm painting. I change my mind on them or whatever it may be. So I'm mixing ultramarine blue and cad yellow. I'm not going to tilt that too much because I don't want that gel going everywhere. And that looks like it's going to be a pretty nice green. So we're going to. Greens can be tricky in art. Tendency to just forget that they do vary a lot in color from whether it be the amount of blue, type of yellow, whether it's a cool yellow or a warm yellow that would have more red in it. Cool yellow leans a little bit more blue, almost green. Okay, so I've got a very light green. Maybe too light. It's okay, I can darken it up. So. You know, as a matter of fact, before I leave and go here, I'm going to make one light and one dark. life much easier in a little bit. And I am also going to prepare for the other side, which is going to be blue. And the reason I picked ultramarine is because it's a cooler blue. It's, I think I told you backwards a minute ago on the greens, sorry. The ultramarine has more red in it. It's more of a violet blue, just slightly leans that way, and the phthalo has more, it's more of a green blue, a little bit of yellow. So I like mixing with these because I don't get my brushes dirty yet, but you can mix with a brush. An old game card works wonders. You know, game card, Visa card, whatever you want to call it. And I just picked up yellow, I don't want to do that. So we're going to mix blue and white, so I'm staying with the ultramarine. Okay, for now I think I'm just going to add a tad of white. It can gray down real easily, and if it does, that is an instance where I may decide to change my mind on the blue, but it does pretty well with me in the sky, so it's looking good. So I don't like to waste paint, so I'm just going to take this knife and go to the canvas here. And, okay, so we're coming back. I really need a videographer to do all this for me, and somebody to hold the canvas too. Okay. And I don't know, I may add this. We'll see if this is as blue as I want it or not later. I think I want it lighter, but that's okay. Lots of time to toy with it. Let's see, did I tell you about the cup earlier? So you want the cup. The reason, if you're having trouble, here, just look at the cup, okay? And you can kind of see the way the flower tilts and how this turns into an oval as it tilts. It's not a circle, okay? You see right there? One of my friends reminded me that on Facebook a week or two ago, Jacqueline Crowley. She's a very good artist. She teaches too, so you might want to check her out. And I know I've had former art instructors say that as well. Okay, so we're going to go into the green, and I'm just going to use this that I did the sienna on this with because, let's see, as a matter of fact, no I'm not. You can use it if you want, I just don't want to clean it again later. So I'm going to use a different brush and just try and get some greens in here with the turpentine. Now I'm going to try and go with a little bit of the darker green. I have an 8x10 canvas. It just depends. And even the picture I printed doesn't look the same size. And I'm just, you know, I'm just going to fill this in right now. We can come back and put detail in it later. So basically what I'm doing is just blocking in color. And then you block in the bigger shapes of color and value. Excuse me, I don't want to put my arm in front of the camera there. And once you get that done, you go and block in a little bit smaller shapes. So you break it down into a simple process. Basically, it's a, you know, process. And there's always new ones to learn too. Sometimes we just, excuse me, we just learn from experimenting. Okay, and then a little bit comes in. Let's see. So it didn't quite come. There we go. All right. So go back in with the. Let's see. I'll dull that blue quite a bit if I do. Looking at putting some blue in here. I'm going to wipe my brush off because I don't want to get the green. I'm going to get that blue moving around. Got just a tad bit more paint and a pinch of my odorless, mineral spirits. Again, if you've not painted along with me before, make sure your room's well ventilated. Don't work in a small enclosed area without ventilating for your health. And you can protect your hands with gloves if you like it. But yeah, basically, as you see, kind of get my hands in it a little bit here and there, but not much. I wear liquid gloves. You can get it from the online art vendors. actually found some at Kroger once too. But Blick Art Supplies and Jerry's Artorama carry it. Do you know, this was initially a darker background. I thought I wanted it lighter, but I'm honestly just not sure, and it's really early to tell. So these are the reasons I tell you. I just, I don't know, I just changed my mind a lot, I guess. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to come down and start putting in some of the outer shapes of the leaves. It's negative painting, basically. So up here it comes down and up. Yeah, see, it's graying down the paint. But that's okay. It was looking a little bit bright anyway. I really don't know where all these hairs are coming from. All right. And you know what? If you have a hard time getting to the canvas, I've been fussing with them the past couple weeks on these videos, and I don't know why, because you just turn it around. And I know that in the back of my mind. I just forget. I forget the easy stuff sometimes. All right. So turn that back around like that, and so go back into the blue a little bit, because it actually, let's see, no. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of sort of backwards drawing in some of these leaves for now. Just picking up a lot of green. Alright, and there we go, and then we have like a couple here, a small one here. Another one comes in about right here. They're not exact, they don't have to be. Proportionate is what you want to look at. I'm used to working with a larger canvas that doesn't slide around, so I do have to remind myself. Wait a second here. Will I focus? To just grab a hold of the edge of it. So where am I there? Okay. Here. So basically you're just creating a backwards, these are like V's, but when you create like a V this way, it creates one that way, which is your flower petal. Does that help explain a little bit about what I'm doing? So on the flower, you want to, what I'm looking at right now is the black background, which is also the negative space. I'm just choosing not to paint it black. I thought about doing violet, and it's a strong possibility that by the end of this video, that I may change my mind and change it up. And I don't know why I made myself laugh. It's because I do that stupid stuff all the time. But it's not stupid, and it's just part of the creative process. I'm just being silly. So see, you can see the edges of the flower coming in there now. So what I wanted to find out is where I was up here. Okay. So this will be coming out more. There you go. Now you have the edge of that, right? Alright, so I'm going to go back into a little bit more green because this side is green. And let me see. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards darkening that up. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm going to darken a little bit over here. And we're going to start, I'm going to look right about where I left off right here. This comes into actually there's a leaf there. Really not looking at painting the leaves in detail yet. I'm just trying to outline the, sticking with outlining my daisy. Daggone it, sunflower. Alrighty. Just get something stuck in your head sometimes and it just doesn't, and you know better, and it just comes out that way anyway. Okay. There we go. Come up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do to kind of try and keep things flowing. So I'm just blending along the way here. Now, I'm wiping my brush because I keep feeling like I don't know why, if it's something, my brushes are pretty clean, so I'm not sure where all this came from, if it was on the board. So here we go. All right, let's get back to this. So where was I? Right here, here. Okay, and then it comes up quite a bit like this, and over here, and then we have a spot that drops down. It's okay, it's not perfect right now. It can be later, or not. I'm actually going to curve it. And you don't have to do them exactly the way I'm doing them. I don't think I'm getting every petal spot on. I may be. I do have those tendencies to get that way with my work, but I'm just kind of following what I see and making shapes happen and keeping them. You just have to keep looking at that negative space. Keeping everything flowing right now. I hope you're not looking at my nose. I'm looking to see how the color looks because it looks a lot more yellow. Here. Alrighty. Probably should go into the settings, but I can't do that while I'm recording too. Alright. Let's see here. This is the one I just did, but it needs to come up like this and out. This one comes, there it is. Alright. It's okay to go in and make something do something different if you see the need for it. Okay. These are a little further away so they look different. I'm noticing there's a few wider ones over here. So if you look at the negative space there, this makes kind of like a, yeah, comes in a lot more than what I had it. Like a U right here. All right, now back up here. So we did like that U looking thingy. Load my brush. Run out of paint, just, you know, if paint starts getting dry and doesn't smooth around easily, you either need to reload your brush or dip into your medium, or both. But I've gotten carried away many times. Painting away and I'm like, oh, the paint's not coming off. I'm so absorbed into the painting. It happens. And I'm like, hello. There's a paint on the brush, Tina. Alright. So I'm stopping there because this isn't neat enough where I wanted it to, but it's so light it's not going to matter at this point. Going back to, this is going to end up blending right here somehow, some way. Up here. Yeah, because I got that. Should be okay. Actually, yeah. This is much longer. It's okay there. This comes down like this. And there's one here. So we can straighten that back up for you. I wish I could get it a little bit more tilted to you. I'm working on, I have to order something to hang the camera and then it'll get there. But I may have to slow up with these for a little bit because I do still have 5 exhibition paintings to paint. Yaha! And my book to finish, which is in editing. But my editor's sick with the COVID-19, so if you keep her in your thoughts, that would be great. All right. I'm getting some color. I'm coming around right here. I'm putting a little violet into my blue, just a dab, because I just really want it to, I really wanted that gray for now. It's still a grayish color, but I just didn't like where it was going. I have that going. I'm going to just get this corner right here that way too. Try and blend this up. I don't want a harsh edge. It just looks nicer when it's softer. Okay. Now, let's see. All right, so now I'm going to find out where I stopped right here. Oh yeah, I still wanted to put some dark or blue in there. Okay, here we go. Right about down here. I had a little correction to make there. Actually, what you can do, if you need to, because I want my petal to come up, this petal I'm looking at here is longer. I have a paper towel, paper towel will help. And then, just still like so. Alright. And, sorry, I guess I'm going to playlist on in the background. It's kind of getting my nerves, so I hope it's not bothering you like it is me. It was cool for a little bit. Some stuff gets a little funky. Alright, going back into my green because, let's see, right here is, it's like the green just breaks in right here. Let's see. And there it is. There's my last little leaf there. Okay. Alright, so I got the outside done. If you're working with a paper towel or anything, I might take inventory. Get myself a fresh one out. So we're going to go into some gold for the flower right now. And let's see what we want to do here. I am looking at a color chart. Let's go in and, oh yeah, I know what we want to do first. So, come over here. And, well, a good thing actually, real quick. I'll still have this. This was the ultramarine and the yellow, and I'm just adding a little bit of yellow to it. Alright. So I'm going to come back here and have this in the middle. Okay, I can already tell you it's way more yellow on this canvas than it looked on my paper, and it's going to get changed, but I'm not worrying about it right now. I wonder if it's the brush. It's the hair coming out. Alright, let's see. Alright, Anyway, fill in that middle, that green, and put a little dab of that green in there. The light part, the one that's mixed more with yellow, because the middle of this is that way. I'm just going to kind of tap it around to soften the edges a little, because it does have that appearance there. All right, and the burnt sienna will be next. So we're going to go into the burnt sienna over here. Remember, if you don't have it, you can mix your ultramarine and your cat orange and get fairly close to it. A little medium, a little burnt sienna. You can use the same brush because it still has a yellow base to it. So we're going to come back here. All right, now look in proportion about where these leaves come down and where this is. I'm seeing this inner circle that's orange here. Is that orangey? And my yellow's coming through, so it's a pretty bright orange. And pull that in just a little bit. And wipe a brush a little bit. I didn't put that on the camera lens. All right, that's another one of those hairs. Just gonna blend this up a little bit right now, and we can define the lines more later. But I already changed the color here that I wanted it to be, or it was too bright, so it works out. Doing is pulling this edge out a little bit, because it does pull out into the flower here and there. And I'm really not trying to do anything too perfect right now. I'm just softening up this edge so it'll be a little easier to come back to in a little bit. This side is not as soft as the other. It's the way the light hits it, so you're seeing more shadow over here. There's actually a couple places, let me see, right side there. There's one right here, almost makes like a little V. That V thing again that forms the other end of the leaf. So what I do in my mind is I'm kind of coming down, tracing this leaf, and I'm coming right here and putting this in. See there? So you kind of get your direction of your leaf here. And I'm going to come back later and work on the edge of that. This one has one as well. And it starts going like this. And then these have some things that just kind of, I'm just doing this to just kind of give it some, the line gives it some direction. So now we know these petals are curving. Probably can't see it that much, and I'm doing that thing where I am running out of paint. As I'm running out of paint, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple things here that I need to do. Pull up into there. This one doesn't go too much, but this one does. So I'm just going to... And then since I did that, because I picked up blue and I really don't want... Well, I was going to say I don't want much blue on my end of my daisies, but this side here, the petal is actually a little green. So I'm glad I looked over there at the photo first, which I just use it as a color reference more than anything. I'm not painting 100% true to the photo. Okay, and let's see, we got that one there. To this one. This one's got a little green in it too, right here. So if you just look back, really what that is, green is a cooler color than the yellow and the orange. So you got your yellow, your brightest, then your orange, then your green. And what's happening is the parts that the sun is hitting the most is getting yellow, and some of that yellow shadow is green. But you know, as an artist, you can make the shadow blue or purple instead if you want. Biggest part you get into there is color harmony, but this side is a lot more. Let's see. This is the one right here. Okay, I'm gonna wipe that. It's getting too much blue. Change the side, and I'm pulling out. I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush right now because I do want to use this brush and I have blue in it. On second thought, let me see here. Yeah, I'll clean it for now. It's just on the tips. All right. Decisions. It's a constant decision-making process as an artist. Okay, where's the shadow? Where's the light? You know, is this in proportion? Am I going to use this brush? Do I need to get a new brush? What color? So I get very, very relaxed when I'm doing this, and then there's other times I have a lot of those decisions to make, and I'll get a little tired and walk away and just freshen my mind for a while. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so the way I want to work is I'm going to come over here, get some yellow, and when cut it with just a pinch of white because it's such a powerful, cad yellow is extremely powerful, and it does have some toxins in it, so I don't, they have a new one. It's actually the cad in it, cadmium. That's why I say use gloves or wear the liquid. Keep your hands out of your mouth. But they have I'll tell you in a minute because I have to focus here where we're coming up here. The brighter parts of this. There's one back here. This goes like this and this. I just don't know why I keep getting things here. Okay, I'm going to go into the parts that have green last, for obvious reasons. Even over here, I need to work on this petal, it looks like a little bit. I'm not liking how it's looking. So I'm just going to pick up the ones I have. Looks like I need to work on these edges over here. So I'm just going to... There had to be something on this board, and I just picked them up this week. You know, we're under quarantine, so I just... It didn't pay for me to order from my online vendors, so I just went to Michael's and got their Artist Loft boards, which I thought I've gotten before. I don't know what is all over this. Maybe I should just brushed it off real good in the beginning. Certainly remember to do that the next time. Alright, and this board is absorbent. So that means I have to get more. Alright. I added a little white to that yellow. The tips are pretty white. And, well, in certain places. Some parts are shadowed, but you can see it in the photo. And I must make that just look perfect the way it is. Because it's streaked and it's picking up the color that's under it already. I'm just looking to see how much blue I've picked up just now. That's what I was doing. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like it. So, that means come on down. this goes way up here. Okay, I have protective dogs, so I'm sorry if you hear them in the background. No one can walk down my street because they think it's their street. This in over here. I'm trying to see, what did I do here? I had, let's see what's going on. One coming this way and one coming this way. All right, now it's time to wipe the brush. I don't want to get any more. All right, I'm gonna work with a little bit of that sienna because I need it right here. Goes real nice with the yellow here. And this is just, I'm gonna hold off on it. I should have brought my yellow in closer. It's all right. All right, here we go. So we're gonna come over here. Yes, it's a very absorbent canvas for sure. Alrighty, where am I? Let's see. Okay, and then here just came one of my dogs to open my door. Alright, I have lost my spot because I painted everything in here. So what I'm looking at right here is it. Pretty sure. Yep, that's it. Alright, this comes over here and up here. It's a little harsh line right now, but it's okay. I'll soften it. So look here, you got one coming. Alright. There's 1, 2, 3. This one comes up here. So if you want detail, you want to something, hang on a minute here. So I'm sorry I get quiet sometimes, but I do have to stop and focus. Let's see here. We got this. What you do is, it's still easier to start out this way. Well, you know, it just depends. I will tell you, I've seen some artists just start out and they are, let me come up here again, hang on a minute. Work in sections and get a section perfected. I find it easier for color blending, and I just like to flow across my painting. It's more of it's a less controlled feeling for me. It's a little bit negative painting again, because what I did is I just made this sort of start to stand out here, but I have a little ways to go with it. Okay, and let's see, right at this one was, let's see, we got that, yeah, and this one, and I'm going to go into some yellow. Right here. I wanted a pretty pure yellow because I want to overpower that, and I know it's powerful. And remember I said I needed to bring some more in, and the reason is, hang on one sec. I'm sorry, I stopped my thought process again. This has a petal that comes in here. Holy cow. Trying to figure out what's causing that. It is driving me crazy. Alright, down here. I'm gonna wipe that. I don't want to drag green into it. So see, what happened is I just didn't get this little petal out far enough, but it's fine because I'm fixing it right now. Alright, there's this is dark, so I have the dark on my brush. This is the one that goes next to this. I'm going to use that dark to my advantage, save myself a little time, and put in this shading where it goes. You can see this right here to the bottom left. The idea is to get that shading to look hang on a minute, where it makes those petals stand out, so we have a ways to go yet. I just had a thought. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but what I am going to do is try to switch brushes to see if it eliminates part of my problem. I had one out earlier. Okay, well, let's try to go to this. I'm going back into the cad white and yellow. Cad yellow and white. Alright. I mixed it up a lot lighter because I have some places that need attention, and I shouldn't have went into the blue just yet, so I'm just going to wipe that off. The very tip, I still have a lot of paint there that's I don't know, I'm still getting these bristles. Well, it's because it's the same kind of brush. Try a different one. I think it's the brush. Come on. Don't tell me I didn't have black brushes here. Excuse me for 1 minute. Let's try this one. Let's see if this brush does it a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so. Did you see me turn it sideways? Because I could feel it's going to take too much paint off if I don't. Look at how it's stuck on there. Just turning it sideways and holding it back if you want a little texture. You could also start using a palette knife at this point if you wanted to just put your highlights in, and you'll just have to clean your knife in between if you get between colors that aren't complementary or in the same hue family, or you know, close to like this sienna and yellow and so forth. All right, and I have a bright, so I'm gonna add some more. I have a real bright, and I could almost you know what, it may break out, and I didn't say put this on the palette, might do the trick right here, is a cad light, a cad yellow light is what I'm trying to say. We'll see if we can just get her all done this way. It'll still work. I see I pushed down into the paint more, and it's not as prevalent here. Then I went back sideways and it's showing up again. See what I'm doing? Alright. And you know what? I'm off a little bit anyway. It should come out that way. And I'm just going to make it work like this. And this is just uneven in here, so I'm just going to make it look a little uneven. Up here, it's very bright. Remember I went over that with the strong cad? So I added a lot of white just now. This also had like a funny light. Yeah. This really had a funny little edge, and right here. It's pretty safe putting my fingers in it because I got that stuff on my hands. There. I'll fix it a little bit more later. Alright. I'm not messing with these two yet because they're a darker shade, but right here is going to be fun. Get a little bit more white. Pretty white pale yellow there. This will look really light right here. This petal will, but it's not going to happen yet. We have to go and darken. We have to go and darken. Yeah, I accidentally got green in here, so I'll be coming back over this. Alright, some more yellow. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go, more yellow. There we go. Yeah. So see, we knew I needed to do that because there. Alright. It's okay that edge isn't perfect. It looks nice like that. This is a darker petal. This is light again. So I'm definitely adding a lot of white to some yellow. Probably about just a little bit more yellow than what we used just now. If your paint's getting dry or thick on you, get some medium. Okay, and then this one out here. Well, that's definitely, okay. So, oh, I know what it is. We want to come out like this. There's more of a... I'm going to fix that in a little bit. Lost my spot. Alright, there we are. There we are. Let's see what's happening here. Because I have, okay, this one needs more yellow. Just the pattern right here threw me off for a minute. Alright. Alright. Yeah, need more. Got a little bit of yellow white. I'm going to turn it sideways. I think it was this leaf here. It's got a little shine on the outer edge. What's happening, this is a flat brush, so I'm using the chiseled edge here just to make that. I try to explain the reason why I do things as I go along, but sometimes, you know, just have to stop and think about the painting. And there it is. So we're getting there. It's looking like a sunflower. I think it has been for a little while, actually, at least I hope. And, okay, I'm going back into some more cad yellow. I'm going to see where I was here. There's a small little guy hanging out here. And, well, no wonder, I see. There's I'm going to go back up here. So I noticed the tip of that leaf needed, petal needed refined. I'm wiping my brush because I accidentally pulled some blue into it. It's alright though. Let's see, okay, so then now this can use a little bit more here. Alright, there we are. And then right here we've got this goes. Bam. Stopping because I already noticed I got the blue. I don't want any more blue. I'm going to swap paper towels. I had to wipe so many of those bristles off. Alright, here we go. Alright, where are we here? Let's see. We've got that one done. Okay. This one done. Hey, Zach, close my door, please. I got a video going. Great, sorry. My kids, my dogs opened the door. Somebody opened the door. Hey, boys. I have a video going. Can you please close my door? Thank you. Alrighty. There we go. I'm going to show you another cool trick in a minute. I think it'll work on this. It's something I've done before. Excuse me, brighten that up in a minute. Lighten it. Pretty dark here. Okay, there's. This almost looks like one of those. This petal here reminds me of one of those maple helicopter seed thingies. You know, you blow up in the wind when you're a little kid. This shape right here is kind of the one I'm looking at. I can't get it. It looks a little bit different on the photo, obviously, than what I'm doing right now. But it reminds me a lot of that shape. Oh, well, here's what's different about it, because it curves this way. And then there's this little piece here. And here, which means I need to knock out some background work there. So we're going to work on the background for a minute. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards that. Let's do something fun here. I'm going to lean towards the violet, so I'm going to darken this whole side, and I'm going to brighten this side up. With the violet, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. I'm just going straight in with this brush because I know I'm going to do violet. And I'm doing a little white, but I'm doing it on the side because I don't want it too light. But it is. So I'm putting some blue in it. Alright, let's see what happens here. I may not like it, I don't know. We'll see. Because that was darker to begin with, this was my initial thought. It might look good to kind of leave the two kind of showing through, and if we want to do that, let's just play with it and see what happens. Tap, just like a tapping. I took a couple strokes up here, and one here. Let's see, it stopped about on the original photo here. I think that's just what made this look so neat. And that's what I needed to do, was go in and fix that anyway. If I don't like it, I can wait on it to dry if I want to lighten it back up. But it would be kind of hard to lighten right now. I just think I like a little bit of the blue shining through, but I'm not sure. colors work together. And it's also complementary of violet. You have like an orange in here and green. Triads. We'll see. I'm wiping my brush because I'm done with the violet for now. Go over here for that much of it at least. I'm just doing some tapping and blending. So definitely, if I do, I want it softened. Okay, so here's what you can do. If you have a shader brush, which looks like, I don't have it handy. Any other time I would. I think I cleaned all my brushes and put them away. Here's one. Let's see this one. This is some kind of little, it's like a bristly mop brush. Sometimes I play with the edges with one of these. It's soft. Definitely clean it right away. And I'm not sure what these bristles are, so it may not hold up for many of these, but it does the trick sometimes. Heck, the guy I learned from told me to get these hockey watercolor brushes, but they just leave hairs in my paintings all the time. I can't do that. So, yeah. See, I like the bright colors. I think they're fun. And this just has a bright, happy feeling to it. What I might do is go back in over top of it with back in over top of this with some light blue. So it'll give it a definite texture and interest there, but I don't want the background to compete too much with my, or with our, let's see, where were you here? Yeah, I went back in too much on that. It's okay, I can fix it later. I need a shirt that says that. I can fix it later, because I always say that. So anyway, there's just other factors I was taking into consideration. All right, now just going around and showing you a quick way if you want to just get funky with your colors. You don't have to stay on the orange. This tones down that just a little. I'll do that because I have the purple on my brush already. I'm coming over here because it's shadowed. See how it's making that leaf pop now? So we talked about that earlier, and I said, well, it's not going to do it right now. Violet's a good shadow for yellow because they're directly complementary colors. I'm actually coming down here a little bit more. And up here. Now what I may do with this one in particular, when I can quit concentrating long enough to talk, is, what was I going to say? Violet. You could put a little bit of the sienna, like that's in towards the middle with this. So that may be something I do later, or we do later on this. I just like, I'm getting shadows in right now and making things look right. This is more of a, okay. Let's see, where else do we have a pretty deep shadow right here? This brush is kind of fat, so I can't do too much with it. Center of that one there. These were all just kind of, it's okay, figure them out. There, I said it again. God, jeez, I gotta stop. There we go. Back to, here's the brush. I may just go with the bright for a little bit. The bright is definitely meant to be used more sideways unless you want to remove some color, which maybe in this instance I needed to. Alright, so I'm going back with that for a little bit. And where are we working? Let's see. A little bit more yellow for now. Oh yeah, we needed to go in on that anyway, right? All right. This is coming from underneath. All right. This looks completely different than it did earlier. Okay, I'm going back into some sienna right now. A little medium with that sienna. I'm just gonna pull. You can go, if you want to focus on these intricate geometric patterns and do a hyperrealism painting, you can. It takes a lot of time to get that much detail. Keen eye. I like to put my own spin on things. Now I can put some dark violet in there if I want. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then this guy again. All right, so it's about here. See what I mean? You can't go sideways, and I just forgot. It's easier to lay your brush down on the side when you're working with the bright than it is to, where am I, right here? The nice thing about it is you can get in a crisper line, like that, coming in there, which is, I do like having, you know, don't get me wrong, I like adding a little bit of detail. I mean, my work's pretty detailed, but I like the artistic interpretation as well. Quite a bit. Okay, so right here was one thing. This went. And I did get my crisp edge drawn in on that. Helped kind of refine the shadows here. Okay, there's a dark one right here. It's not dark enough. I'm gonna just go into. I just picked up a tab of sienna and violet. Separated that leaf right there. All right, I'm going back to my sienna. Wiped my brush too because I don't want, for this next move, we're going to work on that next petal, I don't want the violet on it so much. So right here we have a leaf coming like this, and one in here. And it's actually pretty orange, so it's got this might go into that cat orange just a dot because it's real powerful. See, let's watch. Let's see if it's too powerful. Oop, what did I tell you? Bam, big time. But you know what? I'm gonna play, just because this is what art's about. And while I'm doing this, it's brightening it up, and I'm just taking and putting, like, almost if you've done pointillism with a pen. That's what this is like. Just softening up this edge. Now, let me see. Softened it up. I'll end up adding some yellow back in, because it is a true orange yellow right there. Okay, but I picked up more orange, and so I'll come back over here. Yeah, I need more orange because I'm going to even that out. It gives us our, there, it gives it the texture that this has right here in the middle. Alright, there's a little, remember I said I might come in here with orange earlier? While I'm in the neighborhood. Bam, okay. And over here are some places I need some help. Still finding those little hairs once in a while. Go back up here. Here. Let me come up here. Alright. I'm just moving around as I see fit, really. I thought I was going to work down below, and I just decided to move up here. You may want to go to a different area. You just go within a painting and just, you know, kind of go where I feel like it needs to be addressed at the time. You start out, you know, blocking the colors in, but then after that you start moving around. Okay, let's see a little bit right here. You know what, it might even do better on one of these is one of the, if I had a pointed round brush, I swear I got more over here. It might be hiding in the back. I don't, it's okay, we can still do it with the point. So we should get the shading in on these, and it gives them their depth. You can start to see the dimension within the leaves. Okay, see? There's a pretty, so we do need to come back down here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to recommend, let me see how. Okay, I'm changing thought process. Midstream again here. Here we go. We're going to recommend, it may be too crisp of a line if you get a palette knife out. But you can if you want a crisper line or a shader, script liner. Well, I don't have one right now, but I'll be doing a tutorial on brushes soon. I had my head turned away while I was mixing paint, so I hope you could hear me. If not, I just said I'll be doing a tutorial on brushes soon. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. This is, here, now let's try that again because I didn't have enough paint. I'm barely touching because it's coming off easy. So I'm just almost just, I mean, if you could see, it's almost like the slightest touch. If I press down any harder than that with this bright, it's gonna, I'm looking at my spot here, come off. Okay. And he has pretty. Alrighty. And then we come up from there to that right here. Okay, I got that way too dark and I know it. I'm gonna go back. Alright, let's see if I need to get anything else over here. Different colors, so I don't think so. Okay, so I have to go back to one of these brushes. I hope it doesn't start leaving a bunch of hair again. I just feel like this type of brush is the best brush for this, but it's just, I think it's falling apart on me. Alright. Let's see. All right here. Yeah, just put that leaf in a. I called it a leaf again. I think I did it when I was on the same petal last time and I'd accidentally covered it up. At least I'm consistent. All right, there we go. So it's starting to look, you know, pretty close. Let's go in and let's just put in a pinch of. Let me do something real quick. I'm doing a test over here. Okay. I took a pinch of my sap green and added it to my cad. I wanted a little bit more of a pale green here in the middle for where it looks like it was. And what I'm using is just the corner of my brush and just kind of, you know, putting in, tapping that. It's actually darker a little bit through the middle. Added a little bit of white to that green and then tapped it on there, and I think it might be just a pinch too much, so I'm gonna go back in the green. Let's see, maybe I want to do just satin white. No, it's too gray. So you have to mix until you find a green that you like. So I didn't turn the camera this time, but I'm just mixing sap and yellow again. Also, these are a little darker orange, so they're going to come in a minute. Actually, I'm going to take this, probably, once some of this slightly blends in. There it is. It's trying to show it. So I feel like I need a brighter green. I'm just not getting the green I want. Might need to dig out the phthalo. It's okay for now, though. We're gonna leave it. And this is a little green. Where are we here? There's a streak of green here. This definitely. It's all right. Maybe that was supposed to be there. All right. Got some green down here. Do have green flowing. What I'm gonna do? We'll see if this works. Double-load brush. Again, we did this the other day. A little bit of green. A little bit of yellow. Just one side green. One side a little bit of that yellow white. Now, this has streaks in it. So, let's see. Let's start with the one that has, okay, right here. So I'm going to start here, the point, to make the tip. And I'm going to turn it and bring it back up. Okay, it gave me a little bit of the streaks look, but not like I wanted. And if it happens again, let's see. We'll go over to this one and give me a little bit more streaks. Probably a palette knife will give you a lot more streaked effect than this. If you want it, you're going to have to probably go in and put it in differently or separately. Here we are. And These have shadowed ends over here. Remember I told you the light hits from another side? I'm just kind of coming down, putting some of this. There we go. Now, if I got green in my brush, I'm going to go back in. To some of my greens and my whites. I'm just kind of not picking any particular color. I do know I don't want it that yellow, so I don't know why I just did that. Maybe some of it. So if you do your sap green, it is going to be a little bit more gray, I believe. As you use the sap green and white, will give you more of a grayish green if that's what you want. See if I look, I'm not going to do these petals exactly, I want the focus on the flower. I'll bring out one or two of them possibly and we'll see how that looks. Or just kind of follow some of the light and shadow of them, and they don't have to be spot on. Here. And that was too much. Yeah, darker. A pretty dark corner right here, so you can take some green and some ultramarine. Just need a dab of it. And the reason I'm going to go ahead and follow the pattern of darkening in this corner is because it's when you have a darker corner, it is better composition. It draws the viewer's eye in. Alrighty, here we go. I'm doing a little bit of negative sort of painting with color value here, not trying to get any leaves exact. Just looking at the darker spaces, just giving it a little tiny bit of interest here. And those lines, you know, it's funny if you look, they point, they're leading lines to the flower. So she got a little art lesson there too. Alright, and this is all darker. Some pinch more of that dark in because it picked up a lot of the light. And then I mean, you could call it done right now. You know, somebody like me likes to toy around. So I'm going to just start picking up a palette knife. You can continue on with your brush, using your white and cad yellow as you see fit. Put a little orange in there if you need to in certain places. Oh yeah, I told you about double loading the... Okay, so I'll do that with a pinch of sienna. And if you want the... You can get the texture. And then we just do some on the tips just to kind of say, hey, here we are, make it stand out. Also, the nice thing about the knife is when you do something like what I did, sometimes these look good blended, but I feel like it just needed to be, you know, a little bit more yellow, at least in a spot. And this has yellow here. I'm going to go back to my brush because I want to yellow that up. Remember that? just put a tad orange in it too. Just a pinch if I can, without it overpowering. So I got yellow in here. I feel like that needed a little bit more still. And this actually, it's like that. Okay. Bring the petal on out right there. If I didn't want to not, hang on, I accidentally pulled in a little violet and blue into my yellow. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Yeah, I think you can see it. It grayed it down. That's a great way to gray down your yellow if you need to. But I didn't want to do it at the time. I think I got it from over here where my gel is. So I'm trying to find a part of my gel that doesn't have that in there. There we go. All right, so I'm coming back over here, and we're going to look at this right here. Okay, beautiful. So putting in some of these bright colors. Yeah, it kind of came over it, but it's okay. It makes it look kind of fun, right? Let's see. This key. Okay. Let's like so. Do something like that. You might want to wipe your brush in case, excuse me, you picked up green, and you may also start running out of color. The palette knife takes a boatload more color. Okay, right here we had honey. Nice thing about the palette knife, if you see something that you want to turn it for a minute. Where was I? Right here. Something you want to fix is kind of easier to just kind of pop it right over it without the colors. Let's go this way. The color's smearing too much, so there, bam, I gave it a crisper edge. So notice I need a lot more yellow right here. There it is. All right. Some light over here with this yellow. Some light tips I see right in here. Oh yeah, and this kind of came down. If you look at this top, I've got this a little bit more diagonal to the corner than the photo, but if you look at where it is, it's getting a little light from the top. Some brighter spots in there too. Okay, so here's the end, which is a little lighter on that. See how that you lighten those edges, and it just makes it's the lights and the darks that really make it pop. So the lighter edges, where the light's hitting the tips, give the petal its form, so it's not one solid color. I hope that makes sense to you. Let's see. This goes this way. Alright, so we have a little bit more stuff happening with these, and I think, we'll be far enough along to call it a painting, and if you want, you could continue fussing with these at home and see how far you get. And I'm running this like this because they're streaks in it. I'm still not showing too much. I'll show you what I'll do in a minute. Yeah, let's see. Had something funky here. Had a funny leaf right here is why I'm stopping for a minute. This comes out, okay. Okay, there's a funny little leaf hiding underneath here. Petal. Not leaf, okay. It's kind of, thought it was that one. And then this one came. Okay. So I got myself just a little bit off right here. That's where I got confused. It's alright. No big deal. I'm just gonna I'll fix it now. I hope I have enough color left. Let's see here. Let's see where the bright one is. Would be. May have to get more color. That was the brightest, and then this one does have. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just put in there an extra petal there or something because I'm thinking I'll leave it off. I told you I didn't get the petals on exact. Haha. Not too far. Okay, so dear, how much I like to talk to myself. Okay, let's see. Right here. Yeah. I think we're getting there, guys. Alrighty. So one of the things right here, make this a little crisper edge because it has a crisp edge. Kind of self-explanatory where we're at right now, I guess. I'm just looking at these two petals, particularly right here, are very close in color, and it's hard to find where they separate. I'm just working on that right now. There. I put a little violet in. I don't like, if it's feeling too orange for you, put a little violet in over it. Of course, I turned that way too far and just messed it up. It's alright. I definitely want that to stand out. And this is It's a funky angle, so it may not. There. All right. Yeah, I think that's it's getting pretty good. You know, you want to play around. You can continue to play around, add more color, tweak it. Put some blue in the background. We did talk about doing that. Let's look and see if any of that looks nice. But you know, so it's kind of pretty, huh? It's a lighter blue. It's a ultramarine mixed with light white. I'm doing something like this. I think it's too much texture, in my opinion, for the background, and it draws away from a little bit down here too. I think it just draws away from the flower. So I'm going to go back into that mop brush if I can find out where to put it. You know, alternatively, you can use sometimes a paper towel. Just don't rub real hard. Rub light. Maybe even tap until you find out what you want, how you want it. Adds an interesting background for sure. See how it softens it up, so it's just there. I'm not spreading it around too much because I don't want to soften it too much, or I want some of that. There's a few spots of bright blue showing through, and I like it. And as a matter of fact, because of that, I'm going to add a little bit more blue to the white and see if I can get more of that in there. Since I like the violet and the blue together with this, I'm going to try and break this up a pinch. You could also do this in a turquoise over here. Put a little bit of turquoise into the leaves. That's where you start having fun. And see, look what happens when you put the layers on. So, you know, if you hear a CS artist talking about layers, that's what's going. You can even break up the edge a little bit, like let some of that green shine through, and, you know, put a little bit of this over here or something if you want, just to give it some interest. This, I'm just going to take the very tip and soften. I'm not real crazy about this leaf, and I think I'm seeing why. I need a pinch more cat on my palette. So basically what you're going to do at the end here is you're going to sit and you're going to, let's see, hang on. Okay, so I lost my highlight right here where this basically goes like so. And I want this highlighted more, so we're going to turn this around. Let's see. We talked about the tips were highlighted. This kind of faded off into the distance. Let's see, this one's... Yeah, I got my hand contorted all sorts of crazy ways here. There's something missing right here too. Ah, and there it is. I see it. Let me get it. Okay. Hang on a second. Too light. I don't want it too light or too yellow. So here we go. Right here. And then it comes up here. I almost perfectly made that shadow. Well, not quite. So we'll work on the shadow of that leaf in a minute. And this needs to be more prominent. Some more white. Absolutely. All right. I don't know if I want to attempt that shadow with a, let's see, hang on a second here. I'm not going to attempt it with a knife because none of the other shadows are, and I'm just trying to maintain some consistency right now. This green streak comes down here, and there's one about right here. And start blending away there. Look what I missed right there. Let's see. It's almost like two. Okay. I'm just going to draw this guy in because it makes more sense. It's not quite like the photo is, but it's alright. I'm the artist and I say it is. Light right here too, and I don't know if it's going to come through. So for that reason, a little bit more back on my palette knife here, and there that way. Now the thing with the palette knife, it's not going to mix your colors as much. See that? So that's a little bit. And I feel like, let's see, we have this. Yeah, I don't have enough bright up here. So we're getting very, very, very close. Part can really be fun though. You just start watching things pop. Alright, I think we could probably tweak with this for a long time, but we're gonna leave it like it is for now, okay? Don't forget to sign your name on it. I'll do it in a little bit. I'm gonna find a smaller brush. TinasFineArts.com. I've really, where are you? Hi. I've enjoyed bringing these paintings to you. Let me back up a little bit. So I'm in my studio tonight here. I still have 5 exhibition paintings to finish, and I want to get my book out to you because I think I was looking at myself. Not used to doing this. Anyway, I feel like the book's going to be very helpful. My Wildlife exhibition and book, if you're not familiar with it. I've been working on it for over a year. I really feel like it's going to be helpful during this time, so I want to get that worked on and published and available to you, the public, as soon as possible. Okay, you can subscribe to my newsletter at tinasfinearts.com/news. I wish you all the best.